Our next game, guys, the Bucs over the 49ers, the very injured 49ers right now. Let's take a look at the notable fantasy point scorers in this one, because Baker Mayfield's MVP campaign is officially off and running. But Tez Johnson was a little confused when he heard the MVP chants.
I'll tell y'all a funny story. This is crazy. When I score and I hear MVP chant, I'm thinking they talking about me. So I asked Shep. I'm like, Shep, they was chanting MVP? And he was like, yeah. I was like, I ain't do nothing this year. And then he was like, they talking about Baker, Tez. And I was like, well, that explains it. But he is the MVP. The one he got the first down on, he said he blacked out. But, I mean, that's just Baker. The pump fake get everybody. I'm just like, oh, my God, he's a dog.
Well said.
Yeah.
MVP candidate Tez Johnson.
Tez Johnson.
You're an MVP to us.
Yeah, 100%. They weren't chanting for you, but here at the happy hour we are. It was an unbelievable catch, and I love the self-awareness and self-deprecating. He would fit in with a happy hour crew.
Great personality, the Tez dispenser. Yeah, it was one of those catches where as soon as the ball came out with Baker, it's like a little bit too far. Just put a bit too much air on it, and then Tez just brings it in. And he might be part of this offense going forward, Connor.
They have a choice.
They don't have any receivers left.
They don't have any receivers left where he will be a part of this offense right now. You always get worried about hamstring injuries, and they just keep losing receiver after receiver, especially the story of Emeka Egbuka has been. Here's the thing with Tez. I mean, the only reason he fell as far as he did, he's 154 pounds at the combine. There's not really anybody in the NFL that plays that way. The guy can play. He's produced throughout college. He was an excellent wide receiver at Oregon. He can win down the field. So this is someone where the Bucs are the land of, like, almost the misfit toys, and I mean that in the most positive way. They get these players that the NFL looks at and is like, not our kind of guy, and then they find it there. Bucky Irving, undersized running back that fell in the draft. Tez Johnson, Baker Mayfield discarded. I just believe the Bucs make it work with these guys, and it'll work for Tez.
They do, and so Emeka Egbuka gets a hamstring injury, doesn't play in the second half, played 0 snaps, so we will figure out how. Hopefully we'll get more news on the timetable for his return. Bummer, because our touchdown parlay on Fansfield pregame, we were 3 for 3, and we only had Egbuka left to go, and then, of course, doesn't play the second half. Bummer. Serious bummer there. I was hoping we would get like a bad bet, credit there from
happens a lot from our friends at DraftKings.
Yeah, in this particular case, the crown was not ours. What are you going to do? Anyway, the question here from Raise the Flags, with the injury to Egbuka, who's your favorite, Johnson in Tampa, or are we thinking Shepard? I don't know that I feel like Tez over Cameron. I'll say that.
And
but
Shepard over both of them.
Yeah, probably.
Based on floor.
Tez
has upside because he is a vertical guy.
I kind of really like Tez in Dynasty, by the way. I think he's a really interesting guy. Again, Chris Godwin, the second injury seems like this might be a little bit more serious. We're hopeful to get Mike Evans back next week. I don't know that I'm spending a ton on Tez Johnson in a redraft league, but I do think he's a very interesting name for Dynasty and someone for deeper leagues to think about. We'll talk about him more tomorrow, but I think that Shepard, to your point in terms of floor, of the currently healthy Buccaneers wide receivers.
Yep, and just with Egbuka, we still don't have a timetable on, and obviously every strain can be different, but as a general rule across most sports really, is that if you leave with a soft tissue injury and you're not able to get back into a game that still has stakes, that's usually a couple weeks out.
Yeah.
So I suspected Egbuka. The other thing too is that, so they have games the next 2 weeks. 3 weeks from now, they have a bye. So my best guess would be that they probably just give him that extra time, and then he comes back fully healthy after the bye. And so until then, buckle up Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
On the other side of this game, the Niners.
He's like the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Buckle up in a way that the Cowboys did not yesterday. Another huge game from Rachaad White, by the way. Sean Tucker against the end zone, but, Rachaad White, 19 touches, 12.5% target share over the last 2 weeks.
Yep. On the Niners side of things in this loss, they've dealt with injury after injury all season long. Jauan Jennings only had 7 yards, and despite playing, he is also injured. Just listen how bad this is.
Playing with injuries is just something. It's a part of it. You got high, low ankle sprains. You got shoulders. 20%. You got ribs, 5 broken ribs. It is what it is. You keep playing, and nobody cares. You keep playing. That's what we do.
That's right. Now you've got 5 broken ribs.
Yeah, I got 5 broken ribs.
Is your plan to just pain tolerance?
Oh yeah, it's football. I love pain. I wouldn't be playing this sport if I didn't. It's part of it, man. You got to enjoy every little thing that comes with it, and pain is one of those.
So, yeah, that's Jauan Jennings talking about how he loves pain.
Yeah,
And
I'm not a pain guy.
I'm not a pain guy either, but listen, you can see with the red hair, that's a guy that, marches to a different drum beat than you or I.
What's the deal with him getting cleared to play each week? The Niners staff are just like, yeah, it's fun.
I don't know. It's hard until you see it, though. I mean, they're so beat up. And by the way, next week we expect George Kittle back. There's a chance Ricky Pearsall comes back. Brock Purdy should be back next week, and so obviously there's a connection between Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne. Another huge game for Kendrick Bourne. Had 5 for 142. He's now got a 23.5% target share over the last 2 weeks from Mac Jones, and so there's so much uncertainty around the 49ers outside of Christian McCaffrey. Kittle comes back, of course, you're starting him, but just can't imagine starting Jauan Jennings until we see it. And honestly, if Kittle's back and everything like that, I'm going to be a little nervous about Kendrick Bourne as well. And it's just there's so much uncertainty around this 49ers offense.
But one thing on this team right now is with another huge loss on defense, Fred Warner is out for the season.
Yes.
They might be playing in pass-heavy scripts or shootout-heavy scripts.
They are going to be one of the most fantasy-friendly teams in the league now because, the thing is, they were maybe the top-heaviest defense in the NFL already, and they lost the 2 top guys. They have no Nick Bosa, no Fred Warner the rest of the way. Purdy is going to come back. Purdy is going to make the offense better. Brock Purdy is better than Mac Jones. And with Kittle coming back, Pearsall coming back, I think this is going to be now a really explosive offense again. And they're going to have to throw a ton.
Yeah, and they're home to the Falcons next week on a short week. Of course, Atlanta plays tonight, and they'll have to travel to San Francisco on a short week. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com. And I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched. Or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.